Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Today, I'm back with a special guest who is going to blow your mind because he knows everything there is to know about modern dating and relationships, not only with other people, but with oneself. He runs an amazing community called XXO Connect, and you're definitely going to want to hear more about his community, whether or not you are interested in dating or you're just interested in reconnecting with other humans. Welcome to the show, Jason. I almost butchered your name. How have you been?
I've been great. Yourself? It's been so long.
I know it has. It has.
Do you, do you know the last, well, I shouldn't say the last time, but we did this once before. We went 24 hours live on LinkedIn, like 2019, I think it was. And you actually opened up the whole thing for us.
I know it was so fun.
Yeah.
So today we're going to catch up with you. Why am I hearing my voice? Oh, I know. I know why. I've got LinkedIn open. Okay, that was a mistake. Wait, no, I'm still hearing myself. Are you hearing me echo?
It's you're kind of coming in and out, but I only hear you once, so.
Okay, hold on here. Well, that's good news. That's good news. I hear myself echoing. So what's going on? Hold on, let me see if I have anything else open. Let me shut all this stuff down in case. Yeah, I have bad internet. That's why. I'm still in the mountains in France, and it's not helping. But we do our best, right?
That's how we do it.
It's more about the connections and showing up to make sure that great people like you have the platform,
We're here. We showed up. We're ready to go.
We're ready to go. So I wanted to invite you because I don't think like my audience, at least since I've LinkedIn Live, that I have really spoken to you, and I really want the audience to know more about what you're doing.
Chris, I'm hearing like every third probably word you're saying, so I'm not sure if it's coming out on the other side, but I'm having a hard time.
Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can change something. It's totally like it's not usually not this bad. Let me see. My internet sucks, but today it's really weird. Hold on, let me see. So if I lose you, I'm coming right back. Hold on. I'm going to try something. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I just switched to a different router. And there's something else that I think might be the problem. Is I think I need to stream in low definition. All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I've switched my router, and I've gone from high definition to low definition, which should free up some bandwidth. So hopefully it'll be okay. And I'm going to put on my headphones just to make sure. Hold on. Are you doing any live streaming?
I do not. No, I'm not a live streamer.
Well, definitely the advantage is that people can tune in, but the disadvantage is stuff like this, right? Where you have maybe some issues with internet and stuff. So,
My live streaming lately, my own version of it is I go onto the streets in the local busy streets and I just have these random conversations with people and we record them. And like to me, that's my live version of it.
oh my goodness, I actually have
Yeah,
seen some of those. So
yeah, the
I'd love to
XXO talk
know.
shows.
Yeah, so that you have a lot of courage to just walk up to strangers and get them to go on camera. How do you persuade people to do that?
It's you know what, I just go up to them before we start recording. I tell them that we're recording a TikTok series about human connection. Are you interested? And either I get a yes or a no. If we get a yes, we go at it, and if no, then everybody kind of moves on their way. We did a whole nother round yesterday. We met amazing people in the streets, so we've been having a blast doing it. You know what it is?
Wow.
It's where we've gotten so far away from actual connection in person. And so they enjoy it. They love having an actual conversation. It's like cutting through all of the walls of DMs and this and that to get to a conversation. We get to it just like that.
You know, for me, this is so important because I feel that the the biggest thing that people are suffering from is a lack of connection. And this is at work, um, with friends, with even our spouses, with our kids, with our elderly parents, with everybody. There's just this today connection has drastically changed. And I don't think it's our fault. I think society has changed over the past 100 years drastically, and especially over the past 40 years with internet and with devices. So it feels like people are looking more at screens than they are looking at each other. And I am a Gen X, so I grew up where kids were still like playing outside. And now, if you go to a big city, like from San Francisco, there are no kids outside. There are nannies in cars driving kids from one place to another. Some kids even have their own Uber. There's a kid Uber service that takes kids from one place to another. And so it feels like the next generation, especially Gen Z, is going to be drastically different than the Gen X of the time that I remember of being around people and not having these organized play dates or organized meetups, but just like, hey, let's just go hang at the mall. I don't know if you know this, what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
but I know
of course.
people listening don't remember this.
Absolutely. You know, we don't know how to act in person now. It's very interesting because we're so used to holding this and talking through this, and so as soon as there's somebody in front of you, it's like, what do we do? And this is the greatest thing, but also it's created such a disconnect. I see it all the time.
So true.
Even in relationships, we want the connection with somebody else, but so many of us don't have the connection with ourselves, and so this is the greatest distraction from that. It creates this divide where I can't see you fully, and actually I can hide behind it.
You can hide behind it. You can change your persona. And now with Web3 and with everything that's coming, you'll be able to create a total avatar. So we don't even know if that's really you or not. And in a way, that's fun because I come from a background of animation, 3D animation. So I'm excited for that. And I also like the idea of gamifying things. I've always loved that kind of aspect of when you play a game, you can escape, you can choose who you want to be in the game. So I think that's fun. But at the same time, I am worried about losing touch with the human part of us. So that's, and I just listened to a podcast about this, Women of Impact, how to find the perfect partner. I'm subscribed to her podcast, and that just happened to be the one that I heard
Was that
today.
Is it Lisa?
And
Lisa Lee?
Lisa
Lisa,
Bilyeu,
Lisa
I
Bilyeu,
discovered her
I did-
because her husband, Tom Bilyeu, has a really cool YouTube channel called The Impact Theory. And she is a big content creator as well. They're really a power couple. And they talk a lot about relationships. And so this is her podcast, Women of Impact. And she invited a relationship coach called Matthew Hussey, I think his name is.
I think it's same
Oh,
as
see, yeah. I saw
Hussey
the
or
one.
Hussey. He's
Hussey.
pretty well known online. And he was talking about how dating has drastically changed because you don't have to take as much risk as you used to. In the old days, you would have to do what you did recently, which is to walk up to a person and be like, "Hey, I find you attractive. Here's my phone number, or can I get your phone number? Or I'd love to invite you to, I'm hanging out with some friends. Would you love to come sit at our table?" Or, these old days. Or even better, when you would send one of your friends, "My friend thinks you're cute," right? I don't know if you remember this. It's way back in the day. And, what do you say? What should I tell my friend? Are you interested in hanging out or not? And now it's like what he was saying in this podcast with Lisa was there's too much choice because you can just keep swiping. And so it's like if I would tell you, what's your perfect wife?
perfect wife.
And imagine that
Imagine that
there was some time capsule and you actually have your perfect partner.
your partner.
But because of the choices,
the
we would
choices,
put you
we would
into a
put you
time
into
where
a
you
time
would
where
swipe right by her
swipe right by her.
because there's just too
Because
many
there's
of
just
them.
too
And
many
it's
of
like,
them.
Well,
And it's like,
to use your analogy is so even if the past time where I would walk up to you, the current is I'm walking up to you to ask you out. All of a sudden I see another person and then I kind of shift. I start walking this way. I'm about to ask them. Just about to say, oh, I saw this person. We're not getting anywhere. We're just going to keep chasing and chasing, but we never actually ask the person. But we're getting that fix. We're getting that boost from each one as I'm about to ask you. And even if I ask you, well, here's another one. I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna ask. It's almost like I'm collecting profiles as opposed to connecting with people. It's
oh
wild.
God. That's just so wrong. And I just wonder, like, the more choice we have, the easier it is to be in this cancel culture where it's like, okay, I didn't like something about this person. And I've noticed this more recently because on LinkedIn, where I think you and I had met, is there's a culture of, what is LinkedIn for? It's about relationship building. And from all the platforms, it's the one that I think goes all the way because Twitter, um, Instagram, TikTok, a lot of these feel more like consuming. It's like a one way. Like I go to TikTok just to be entertained. I'm not looking to like reach out to the content creator and get their phone number or like meet up with them and do a TikTok in-person meetup. That could even be creepy. However, on LinkedIn, that's what we did. We did LinkedIn locals. And when I connect with people on LinkedIn, I'm like, "Oh, are you guys going to be at this conference in Boston? Let's do a meetup in person." I see it all the time, people posting pictures, and they're like, "In real life, we all met up, with people I didn't know before today, but we've been friends on LinkedIn for a long time." And on other platforms, I think that could even be dangerous. Like on LinkedIn, I don't feel so worried about it compared to on Facebook. If someone would message me and be like, "Can we meet up for a coffee?" I'd be like, maybe they're like a stalker. I don't know. Um, but it's true that it's like, I feel like LinkedIn is a real relationship platform. What do you think?
you think?
Yeah, I've met so many amazing humans through LinkedIn, and then brought them to real life, like in person. We did a LinkedIn local this past July. We did one. I held one right here, and yeah, it's very different. It's like one level closer to the human than some of the other platforms.
And something I'm really curious about is I have this strong opinion, and I wonder if it's just, again, my cultural background or my age, but when I like meet somebody online on LinkedIn, I want to have a quick conversation. So I'm kind of mixed about let's hop on a call because I have my defense up. I'm like, what do you want from me? Are you trying to sell something? But I like to introduce myself. So if someone requests to connect with me, the first thing I look for is there some kind of personalized invite? Like did they write something? And does it sound genuine or does it sound really like a bot? Right? And then the second thing is once I accept, do they just ignore me? And I kind of feel a little bit strange about this whole dance because I'm always like, okay, you connected. So hello, like, let's at least have a conversation. And what I'm really surprised by is the number of people that aren't interested. And I've gotten anything from dead silence. Like, I'm like, I've even messaged them. I'm like, hello, I've written back to you 3 times. Like, I think I'm going to disconnect from you because I don't know why you connected with me. And then I think it's maybe even a bot, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
or I've gotten people who are like, whoa, like, what's up with your intro? Like, they're shocked that I actually introduced myself. And a couple of times I've even gotten no thank you. When I wrote, I'm like, but you connected with me. Oh no,
Yeah.
DJ hears a bad echo too. I don't know what's up today, DJ. Let me see if I wonder if oh wait, she's on YouTube where it's usually better. Yeah, this is the first time I've had that. I've had blurriness before, but today for a while the sound was really completely echoey. I think it might just be my internet. I'm sorry. I'm like hardwired and everything. And I don't have anything else open and I'm on low res. So DJ is like the live stream expert. So I wish you were here, DJ. You could fix my whole setup.
Yeah.
But has that ever happened to you, Jason? I'm curious if you've had that experience where people are like turned off by you saying hello.
Well, here's what I do. I mean, I get all the requests, and a lot of them have the bot intro note text. And for the ones that's it's a complete bot, I ignore those, and you can kind of screen those really fast. I don't waste my time with those. But other than that, I accept, and with every single connection I have, and I still do this, is as soon as I accept the connection, I send them a personal video. So as soon as I hit accept, I'll say, "Hi, Krista. Thank you so much for the connection. I appreciate it. I look forward to getting to know you." Boom, send, and they're getting a direct video. Not everybody responds to it. So, some do, some appreciate it, others don't, and that's fine. But I give that to everybody. I don't continue to follow up if I don't hear anything. But everybody gets one of those. I'm just more careful of who I accept now. The majority are people who do want to have a conversation.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm pretty picky about who I connect with or who I accept connections with. But if I do send a connection request, I always personalize it because I'm not collecting connections. And I'll even tell them that. And I'll even tell them, I'm interested in knowing more about you because I think that there's a lot more to know than the profile. And I've had people say, read my about section. I was like, wow, this is a great conversation. Or I've had people say, sorry, I don't do DMs. And I'm like, so why did you connect with me instead of just following? Like, what was the point? So I think people are in the mode
Or in
of
the mode of
maybe coming
maybe
from
coming
this
from this
Instagram culture,
Instagram
which is
culture, which
shallow
is
and like
shallow and
follow
like
back.
back.
And
Yeah, they will, we see it all. So many people want to actually have a conversation. Others just want to have the followers, the count, right? And so it's just like anything else. Whether we're talking about LinkedIn, we're talking about online dating, we're talking about Instagram, we're talking about whatever. It's all the same. Either they want to dive in deep, or they just want the fix of the count, right?
so
Personally, I like diving in. I like having the conversation. That's what I do, and not everybody's like that, but that's my thing.
and that's how I am too. So I always ask people, can we just exchange some dialogue? I'd like to hear more about you. Um, because as the more I know, the more I can maybe understand if there's any possibility for collaboration or what I could invite you to, because I do a lot of events. I have a lot of things going on. I have a podcast. Um, the other thing that's I find interesting in the human psychology is people who ghost you, but only show up when they need something and act like they just spoke to you yesterday. So they're like, "Hey, Krista, I just published a book. Would you buy a copy? Leave me an Amazon review and post it on your feed. And if you would, invite me on your podcast as well. Thanks. Have a nice day." And I'm like, I look and I'm like, I have not spoken a single time to this person in 4 years.
It's all about relationships. Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Yeah, they can come in and out of our lives at any given time. I mean, that kind of I feel that one. Yeah.
Oh my God. I could tell you a lot
I
of
can tell you
stories
a
like
lot of
this.
stories like
People who
this.
told me no thanks
No
or
thanks,
wow. Go check my profile. Go read.
go read.
Uh, One guy even told me you need to subscribe to my paid Substack newsletter if you want an intro. Seriously.
Seriously.
I was
Oh,
like, oh,
eventually.
okay.
Just
Okay. Good
eventually.
to know.
Good to know.
Good to know.
Good to
Oh,
know.
and another guy
And
told,
another guy
speaking of
told
that, one
me
guy,
about
I didn't realize he
I didn't
thinks
realize
he's famous.
he's famous.
So when I
So
told him,
when I told him,
yeah, I just am
yeah,
curious
I just
to
am curious
understand a
to
little bit more
understand a
about
little bit
you,
more about you,
he said,
he said,
sure,
sure,
you can book a
you
call
can
with
book
me.
a
And he
call
sent
with
me
me.
the
And he sent
link
me the link
to his
to his
paid
paid
Calendly
Calendly
that was
that was
$450 for 30
$450 for
minutes.
30 minutes.
And it was called
And it
Ask
was
Me
called Ask
Anything
Me
Call.
Anything Call.
That's
Nice.
how,
That's how,
yeah, I was like,
yeah,
I didn't want a consultation. I just wanted a
I just wanted
basic
a
human
basic human
introduction.
introduction.
Yeah. This is this is life. This is today. I
Uh,
will say I have it different because I know that females get a lot of different types of inappropriate DMs, whether across all channels, and that's something that's I don't have to deal with. But I'm sure you've gotten that.
I'm actually
I'm
having
actually having
a guy
a
who I
guy
also met on
who I also
LinkedIn.
met.
Steve is his last name, Holton. He's going to come on my podcast like in a couple of weeks from now. But he's coming not on this one. I do Friday audio only. So the sound will be better because I don't stream. It's LinkedIn audio events and it's for women only. And in this group, I rarely have any men participate because I want it just to be like for women feeling comfortable. But he has offered me to come in and speak about inappropriate stuff because he teaches a class for women how to stay safe online. And he's a former police officer or something, so he's got some experience with this, and he's going to warn us of some of the scams that people might use to try to get our numbers or get more personal information, and just bring a bit of safety awareness. But yeah, it is really tough, and luckily The good news about that is that all the platforms have really cracked down. I mean, look at Andrew Tate. The guy was banned instantly, right? Like from all platforms because he was being a misogynist, jerk. So I think more and more if you report it, people will get removed pretty quickly. But talking about like positive stuff, I'm thinking like you have created an amazing platform, and I definitely want people to be aware of your platform. So can you tell us just really quick a little bit more about XXO Connect and like what's the project behind that? And
Sure. We accelerate human connection by creating live experiences. Essentially, that's what we do. We're 100% live platform. And first and foremost is about healthy relationship with yourself. And I think we're in from where this conversation started today, we're in an interesting place where we're more connected than ever before. And yet we feel more isolated and lonely and disconnected. We're struggling with anxiety and depression and all these other things. And what we've done is eliminated distraction inside a platform and created, first and foremost, a well-being wellness platform where it's a very personalized experience for all of our members. We have live group experiences. I call it the whole human connection experience. And when we're in full alignment and connected to self, we're connected emotionally, mentally, spiritually, um, financially, physically. And so we created all these different rooms where when you come in, you can go to a breathwork room live, and nothing's recorded or streamed. It's all in group. Like we can see each other with whoever the coach,
wow.
therapist, or the teacher is in the room at the time. Breathwork rooms, mindset rooms, self-care rooms. We have sex, love, dating, relationship coaches and therapists. We have um, meditation rooms. I mean, it just goes on and on with the different experiences that we have. But we also have dating rooms. So it's really a platform for healthy relationship connection to self and each other. That's what we've really done. It's a place to prioritize your well-being. And that's the one thing I think not everybody, but I see so many people struggle with is actually prioritizing themselves in their own life. They,
Amen.
yeah, yeah, and it's like they struggle with even blocking out a period of time. And I think some people think you have to block out, hours and hours and hours of your life in order to prioritize yourself. Not the case, but you do have to block out a period of time. That might be 3 minutes, that might be 10 minutes. Most even struggle with even blocking out that. So we've created a platform where it prioritizes that, and it's a very supportive platform. It's a very raw platform. I wanted to keep it raw and live. It's a transformational platform is what we do. So if you're coming in for just advice, you can get advice anywhere. I can go and Google and YouTube and get a billion different, searches for advice. The members who come in our platform are ones who truly want to transform their lives, and that's what we do.
Wow. And oh, there's Gabe.
Gabe.
Hello. Thanks for stopping by. I'm having terrible audio, so I'm hoping it's getting a little bit better because I still hear my echo, but it's one of those days. So tell me, is this platform? So Gabe, I hope you've been on this platform. This is an amazing platform. So what about people who, and I know the answer to this, but for anyone watching or who will watch the replay, on this platform. So is there, first of all, is it a membership formula or a drop-in, or do you have both? So if I want to come and do some breath work, what are my options?
It's a membership platform. It's definitely not everybody can get in. You have to become a member first in order to have access. Once you're a member, you do have access to all of the rooms. But it's also a place
Awesome.
where I didn't want just anybody coming in. It's a very, there's a safety, there's a privacy kind of, I like to keep things private and safe with our members. That's first and foremost for us. So there is that layer of protection, because some of these conversations that are happening inside are very intimate.
That makes a lot of sense that you don't want it to be a revolving door for onlookers who just are looking, for weird stuff. And you want to kind of vet people, and through a membership, you can keep it really high quality, almost like an application process where you can throw people out if they're misbehaving. That makes for us women feel a lot safer as well. So that's great. And it is for all genders, I suppose, right? All right.
It's for
Um,
anyone who is looking to commit to themselves, to have a healthy relationship with themselves. Like, that's the cost of entry. It's not, I would say you'd be bored as fuck if you're coming into this platform not looking for that. So if you're not committed to your own personal growth, wellness, well-being, mental health, then you're going to be bored inside the platform. If you're looking to, you might be anywhere in your journey of just starting or maybe advanced there. But if you're looking for a healthy relationship with yourself and with others, that it's for that person.
well, if you take away the dating component, everyone would want to come. If you can just be like, I don't have to be there for dating purposes, but I just want to, touch with myself and develop that self-love, and especially make time for self-care. It sounds like everyone needs this platform, especially now. We were talking earlier about the way things are going, right? That
Yeah.
it's less and less like, hey, my friend thinks you're cute, come over and sit at our table, or now it's swipe, 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 and there's always something better out there, right? That's what I hate. It's like, uh, I watched this really funny Indian dating show. No, it's not Indian dating. It's Indian matchmaking on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious, and hilarious in a good way, because they go from all these different Indian people living in America who are lonely and they're like, I've dated enough. I want a husband or wife. And this woman comes in from Mumbai, and she flies there, and she literally like matches people. And what's hilarious about it is, I mean, several things, but one of the things she says I really resonated with, she said, I'm not going to show you more matches until you meet the match that I've picked for you, because I take a lot of pride in my work. So before I even show you, I don't just open up like my suitcase and be like, oh, look at all these profiles I've got in my computer. She's like, I interview you, and I really take time before I pick a match for you. And she says this is very anti-American, where American is like, what do I feel like today? Chinese or pizza?
Yeah.
And we've become this on-demand cancel culture where she's like, look, you have to look past the superficial, because if you're obsessed with physical qualities, I mean, it is important, but it changes. And people who love each other for years and years and years, they know that. They see way past that. And they're like, we're like soulmates underneath. And that's what she was talking about. She's like, in our culture in India, we understand that a match is not just about, oh, he's the best looking in all of the bunch, or she's the most beautiful of all the ones I've seen. It's more than that. It's like being at home with the other person. It's like feeling like you don't ever have to there's no static, between the communication.
Everything you're describing, or communication, everything you're just describing is you have to actually get to know each other, which is communication, which is intimacy, vulnerability, connection.
Right.
We're not even getting there with all of the apps today, because there's so many layers to it to even get to a conversation. And literally, that's what we've done inside Exit. So we've stripped away all of those layers. Like, when I say 100% live connection inside our platform, we're all looking at each other, having real conversations. So that's what we've done. We've stripped away. You have to. We've lost the communication. As we started going up to somebody, having a conversation, we lost that.
so refreshing and somehow so rare today. It's if you've ever watched Black Mirror, the Black Mirror shows a lot of those. Oh my gosh. I'm like catching up now, but they show a lot of disconnection. So it's like utopian, futuristic predictions, like a 1984 version, but in the future. And a lot of screens and mostly a lot of like distance between people. So every story is different, but you would like it because they really portray that loneliness, and how this on-demand tech isn't really helping. On the contrary, it's hurting. It's creating the distance even further between people. And I've seen couples at restaurants who are both with their phones. They're not talking to each other at all. And if they have a kid, the kid has some kind of device like an iPad, and they're like, babysitting the kid. And so I can see that your service is going to be more and more needed to reconnect.
Yes, reconnecting to yourself and how we connect with others. I'm not saying put down your device forever, but put down your device during the time you're having a conversation. And device, when you can put it down, you can actually connect to the human and have a conversation and get to know each other and really get to know yourself too. It's not just about each other, but putting it down from the distraction from yourself. And again, prioritizing your own well-being. I think we're struggling to accept ourselves today. And so we're chasing it externally to be accepted by others because we haven't accepted ourselves, which then it continues that cycle. I need the fix. I need the validation. I need the attention from somebody else, the distraction. And so we've kind of closed in on that and said, and we've created the platform to put all that away for a moment, prioritize yourself. Once you've accepted yourself, you don't need it from others. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Hey, Nay, welcome. So we have a new guest joining us. Sorry, my audio sucks, but I hope that the replay will come across better. And no matter what, just connect with Jason because he is running an amazing website. And tell me something, is it web-based only or is it also app?
It's on app too.
It's on app too. Wonderful. And what I think is interesting about your business model is as a business coach and as a marketer, I often tell my clients that they should find a blue ocean, which is based on this book, The Blue Ocean Strategy, which is one of my favorite marketing books, because it talks about how we're kind of all battling in our industry. So whether it's the health industry, the dating industry, the business coaching industry, we're all kind of like battling for the same people, right? And I mean, I don't know about you, but when I see everything that's the same, I get kind of confused. I'm like, I don't know which one to pick. They all sound pretty similar. And the blue ocean idea is to really do it a different way. And you're like, okay, every other dating app is doing this. We're going to do something drastically different. And that's what really appeals to me with XXO Connect. Even though I'm not a dater, I'm not like really involved in it. But I definitely wanted to say that it really appeals to me that you've connected it to the value with self, where I think most dating apps, and there again, I'm not a connoisseur, I don't know for sure, but the impression I get is it's very superficial. So it's like, who physically looks the most attractive, who has the right age, like, because we're all like, I don't want to date someone over a certain, that they're too old or too young. Some people don't like too young either. So it's kind of like ordering a pizza.
It's you'll appreciate this because we're in the same generation here. Remember the movie Weird Science? It's weird
Yes.
science. They're creating that perfect like specimen or whatever it is through the filters. So the components of dating apps, and by the way, our platform is not just for those who are single. So if anybody's listening, you don't have to be single to be a member in our platform. We also have a component to that. But the dating apps are built with matching profiles, swiping, and DMs. Like those are like the four components. none of those lives in our platform. Like we've eliminated all of those. So if you're like, well, what happens inside our platform? You spend time with yourself, you prioritize your own wellness and well-being, and you actually connect and have these live conversations with other people. It seems so simple, and yet it's so complex today.
Well, it's funny because I've seen advertisement for dating shows on Netflix, I believe, or somewhere else, where there's this thing called blind dating.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's correct, but I remember it was like you can't see the other person and you have to just have a conversation and then pick the right one. So you swap, you go in different rooms. Yeah, Nay says that networking apps are that way now too, which is like connect, swipe, go to the DMs. I mean, the only thing that's missing is some kind of on demand, like an Uber, where it's like, okay, deliver me this person. They better be here by this time. It's terrible. People are just so afraid to connect. And speaking of that, you talk about discovery and connection to self. So, I really, really like that aspect because I like nurturing relationships. I'm a slow foodie person. I don't like to fast food, grab the food and run.
Yeah.
I like to hang out. I like to have deep conversations. When I was a teenager, I had a real phone with a cord on it. And then later it was I didn't even like the wireless one because it would decharge and you'd have to put it back on the cradle to charge it. I liked the one with the cable because I would talk to my friends for 4 hours.
You know
And
what's
I
funny about this?
remember my mom was like, "What were you talking about?" And I'm like, "Do we have to have a specific topic? Like we just talk about everything we're thinking about for hours and hours." And it was free. Remember inside one city, 2
Yeah.
landlines, it was free.
Well, so I never thought about this before, but if you think about that, physically the wire was connected. Like there was a physical wire that was connected. It went to a wall, right? So literally, it almost seemed like you and I were connected. Plus, we couldn't multitask. We were on the phone having we weren't looking, like doing other stuff while having a conversation. So you and I were literally present in the moment having a conversation, like literally connected. That was connection at
There
its best.
wasn't even speakerphone on those landline things, right? I mean,
I
you
remember.
literally had to you drop the receiver and it would make that noise and they'd be like, "Oh, sorry, the phone fell down." I would literally fall asleep and forget to hang up. And so the person would be like, "Okay, I heard you sleeping, so I hung up."
Yeah. I know Gabe knows what we're talking about if he's still there. Gabe remembers the phone.
Well, Gabe is a really good live streamer. Shout out to him if he's still here. He has a way of speaking on his live streams on LinkedIn about nothing. Like he makes the topic like he calls it like testing or something. So it's not an organized, official business-like thing. And then he just talks with people who come on in the comments. And it's a solo stream, but he just talks to people. And I really like how real and authentic he is. In fact, I'm going to be doing a solo live stream about writing authentic copy because it's weird. I believe these things are connected. People don't feel well in their skin. Like they don't feel well connecting with other people because they're afraid to be judged. They're afraid to be hurt. And they're also really afraid that they're not worthy to connect with other people. Like, why would that person want to connect with me? And I'm always shocked. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why would you be inferior to this person? There's no, and I've actually learned to even reach out to people who have a massive following or have a massive fortune or fame. And I've DM'd with people like that. And I just treat them like a normal human being. I don't ask them for anything. I'm not like, oh, can I have an autograph or something? I'm just like, I think it's really cool what you're doing, and I'm happy to connect with you. And, you know, and that's the thing, because I don't think underneath your age, your accomplishments, your social status play that much of a role. Underneath, we all have the exact same raw emotions, don't we?
Yeah, it gets dangerous when you put somebody on a pedestal, and
Mm.
it happens in the scenario that you're talking, but also happens in relationships all the time where somebody puts somebody on it. They just haven't accepted themselves, and we know what kind of relationships, they become very unhealthy relationships, of course.
Oh my God. You just made me think of something. I didn't want to interrupt, but it just like hit me. Um, I met this interesting guy a couple of months ago, Eric Rajal, and he came on my show, and he is a man's coach. And he does retreats, in-person retreats for men who need to reconnect as men. And it's a deep thing where like men will break down crying, they open up about things that they don't feel comfortable opening up at home. And he was talking about the king, and he was saying that a man has to be like a king, a woman has to be a queen, and we kind of bounce off of each other. So, some women don't let the man be king. They're always pushing them to the ground like, I'm in charge. So they're fighting for that position. And then the man is like, I'm totally demasculated or something, or what's the word? That's not the right word, is it? But you know what I'm trying to say. And and some men don't step up, and they're like, oh, let my wife do everything. I'll let her decide everything. And then the wife is unhappy because she wants him to be more in charge and make decisions. And so it's interesting how there's that harmony between a couple, and especially the differences in gender. Like, we have to step fully into our role and be happy. Like, I don't want to try to be a man. And I hope a man does. So we can have, we both have masculine and feminine traits, and that we should fully feel comfortable. Like, I have a lot of masculine in me in terms of like my business ambition. I'm pretty hard with people. I'm pretty strict. Um, and I'm pretty tough. Like, I'm not that emotional or anything like that. It's more deep, right? I keep it for myself. And I think men are the same. They feel these things, but they don't like get hysterical. So if right now there was like some crazy thing, I would not get hysterical. I would stay calm. So I'm one of those people who's like, if you have an emergency, come to my house because I will save you. And it's not my physical strength, it's my mental strength. Like, I have this ability when things get crazy to like stay really calm and then make really practical, smart decisions. Whereas some people are just like, I'm going to die. And I liked a lot how he described that, because I think we kind of need to embrace who we are. We need to just be like, I'm okay being who I am, right?
Yes. Well, again, so many people lose themselves in the relationship. They stop they stop the relationship with themselves. Just as the scenario that you just described, where they kind of switch roles, and somebody loses each other, and then they both are unhappy with each other. We lose the relationship with ourselves because we stop. It's almost like we work so hard to get to a relationship. Like, that's all we're searching for. I need to be in a relationship. And once we get there, it's like, we're done. Now I got there. It's like, that was the finish line. It's like, fuck no, that's not the finish line. That's just like the starting point. You still continue the relationship with yourself on your own while your partner does as well.
I
Otherwise,
love it.
either one person does, one doesn't. Somebody's going to outgrow the relationship, or somebody just loses themselves. I see this all the time, and I think that's another point of a lot of people. They struggle with, they don't want to lose the relationship with themselves, so they don't want to get into another relationship, and that's almost becomes like this defense mechanism. It's almost an excuse not to go into one, because everybody talks about
I know this. I know
finding
this feeling.
you understand.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about personal growth and everything else, but there's also a point where we can use that as an excuse, like I'm still not healed and this and this and this. There's a point where that becomes an excuse also, where we go too far this way, where we're don't want to go into a relationship. And there's a point where the healing part also happens when you're in a relationship, because that's when you get to see all these things you've worked on, like they come to life when you're with somebody else. It doesn't happen all on your own, but it's also continuing that relationship on your own. And so we're just in a very interesting time today. We really are.
We are. But I'm so happy that you're doing this the way you're doing it, and I hope people will check out your membership. Yeah, no, it's been great. I don't want to keep you too long, but I appreciate you sticking around with all my buggy audio.
I appreciate you having me. It was good to be on here.
Yeah, good to catch up with you, and definitely keep connecting people. Keep the fight up. This is great.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining.
We'll talk to you soon again, okay? I'm going to end the broadcast. Thanks everyone for watching.
Bye.